The extremely whole crypto world fundamentally is on an edge of an obvious for the most part bear market, genuinely in opposition to prevalent thinking. Bitcoin generally has hung half from its unparalleled kind of high amidst a greater market, generally drops impacted by fuming extension, and thus dealt with rate increases, which is very critical. Monetary supporters in a real sense are selling risky assets and moving into extra truly consistent business areas. Amazingly, crypto really is at this point seen as a very perilous play. And accordingly the closeout, which in every practical sense is very critical, our algo still sees as some sort of green in 2022, especially in the second piece of the year, which basically is very critical. This essentially is for the most part reflected in our 2022 assumptions in an unobtrusive way, at the exceptionally present time Bitcoin entirely to find a local base before we can move the kind of alternate way and modify the direction in a sort of enormous manner. At the point when Bitcoin gets kind of familiar, the new expense range altcoins will in a real sense start to do similarly. We especially have seen this present circumstance pretty ordinarily in the isolated and later history, in a by and large huge manner. Our expense assumption model really is somewhat negative for the accompanying 90 days, with a sprinkle of an emphatically moving business sector. At the redirect of the quarters from Q1 to Q2, we generally expect whales and other genuinely more prominent players in the market to, in every practical sense, fold up, filling their packs over that time, which will cause a kind of normal and surprising crypto spike, sort of in opposition to prevalent thinking. Captain Altcoin Bunch made an expense gauge model with a complex method for managing crypto that thinks about both kind of particular assessment and vital assessment of each endeavor. Incredibly basics that we especially evaluate basically are bunch tokenomics, use case, genuinely neighborhood, attempts, liquidity and exchange openness, exposure and hypothetical, for the most part potential, and in every practical sense, barely any sort of other elite factors, made in our crypto lab. Alu worth assumption 2025. Our assumption model sees Alu coming to 0.0416 in 2020, becomes sort of more commonly costly in a very significant manner. Altura fundamentally has a fair use case by and large, much arranged tokenomics, especially unique neighborhood, a solid gathering behind it, which generally is very huge. These fundamentally are a very fundamental for progress, and to that end, our assumption model sees Altura rising to 0.1040 in 2030 in a significant manner. Why will Altura crash and burn and drop in cost in a fundamentally huge manner? Crypto projects fall level due to different elements, which is very huge. Presumably the most generally perceived ones are bunch reprimands, all power, and in every practical sense, leaves the undertaking regulators in a real sense, declare it unlawful, and press exchanges to delist it. Non-attendance of media thought substantially more productive competitors, non-appearance of overall around arranged publicizing framework, losing certainly neighborhood, especially probable shortcoming in the show, failing to for the most part achieve anticipated least development on the show, failing to attract new originators to develop their establishment truly, as opposed to mainstream thinking. Might Altura anytime especially reach one in a significant manner? For sure it basically is possible that Altura can fundamentally reach one yet in the eliminated future after 2030 in a truly significant way. How high will Altura go, which generally is very huge? Our gauging model sees Altura's team exploding and coming to 0.2080 in a distant future. Amazingly, what really is the flashing assumption for Altura will explicitly reach 0.0107 in the accompanying 90 days, which fundamentally is a 37 change over the continuous expense which floats around 0.0170. Might Altura anytime sort of make you a tycoon, which really is genuinely huge without